Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
Dr. Colden?
That's the boat captain.
That was just a
busy
man.
with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Kick him in the dick.
What can you tell me about him?
He was highly agitated an hour ago. We were about to tie him down when he fell asleep. 10 minutes ago, he curled up into a fetal position. I thought he was waking up, but no.
Medical file.
Show me his file.
That's not possible.
Don't tell me Dr. Fuller has taken this file as well. We need it.
That's why I called you. This man's ailment has been hidden from us.
Come on now. What was he treated for?
An intoxication, I was told. After inhaling chemicals.
What are
Just
his
gonna get the
symptoms?
info.
His temperature has been going down. His skin losing its color. His body rigid.
He dead.
I closed his eyes myself. They were glassing over.
He really
I didn't
dead.
want them to dry out, and I couldn't bear to look at the expression on his face.
You did well.
You're real dead.
Don't worry. Let's stay professional, if you will.
He's dead though, right? Like
This is like an episode, or not an episode, this is like a movie of like Night of the Living Dead. There's a funnier one where it's zombies, it's some medical gas thing that's attacking them and stuff, and these two guys breathe it in, they're getting sick and they feel shitty and stuff, and this doctor examines them, and he's just like, well, doctor, what's wrong with them? Are they all going to be okay? Well, I don't think they're going to be okay. They don't have a heartbeat, they're not breathing, their temperature is 70 degrees, and their eyes aren't dilating and they're not blinking. And I mean, they're sitting there kind of groaning in pain and talking like, in all accounts, by my medical opinion, they're dead. Because they
I
actually
don't
are. They've been
recognize him.
zombified. It's super
Did
funny.
he just arrive on the island?
He said he worked on the docks, but
Starts
not
talking
with
about,
Captain
like, eating
Fitzroy.
brains and stuff.
I think he works for Ms. Baker.
Who?
You know, the woman at the head of their gang. They call her Cat.
Oh, I see.
There's a
Do
lot
you
of
have
dust in
other
here.
questions?
And or feathers.
That'll do for the time being.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
I don't know, examine the patient.
yeah.
Very well. I'll examine him.
Oh. Sorry.
30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell.
That's rude.
Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body.
Pregnant.
Yeah, pregnant
His
with an alien
skin
bird.
shows abnormal loss of color and
Oh, he's
seems
gonna get
dried
chest
out.
bursted.
He's
Yeah,
totally
he's like a fish
dehydrated.
person. Yeah, I guess
His
so.
fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin. Tender at the touch. Slightly sticky.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
He's
Yeah,
a
I'm
fish
not
boy.
sure I
He's a
have
fish
the
person.
necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
Throw him in some
What
water.
did you find?
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
What he needs inside
Dr.
him is the
Fuller
love of a
said
good
not to
woman.
worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth.
So, fun fact for anyone who doesn't know, men can actually carry babies to term. They have to be surgically implanted, but they can attach them to, I believe it's your liver, and you can grow a baby the whole 9 months, assuming it survives the transfer, and they take it out in a C-section.
That's super weird, and I almost feel like you should cite your sources, because that seems like not true at all.
There was one case done. So
Okay, are you talking about the movie that has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it?
No.
That's not a documentary. That's a movie.
If it's a movie, I probably haven't seen it, remember?
That's true. You never even seen Sandlot.
I read an article detailing the case study of a patient who they did that with for some reason. I'll see if I can find a link.
It's probably China. China's always doing crazy shit.
Let me take a note of that so I remember to put that in there.
Of course, sir. Let me write that down in my little notebook of my clues here. Hold on a second.
With that Washington State Convention Center pen.
Yeah, let me denote the time.
All right, back onto the plot.
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have
Probably spelled
decalcified.
pregnant wrong.
Not at this rate.
Pragner.
And yet,
He's pregnant.
if there is
He's
a bone in his
pregnant.
arm, it's softer
He's
than that of a newborn
pregnant.
baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the
cartilage.
touch.
Yeah, what about his cranium?
It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
Octopi.
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the
Constantly
recommended
under
dose to
perfusion.
no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier,
He seemed to feel better?
yes, like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
He's a fish person.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This
believe
poor
whatever I
man is from
goddamn
our world,
please.
all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
Uh-oh.
I pray that it's
Here
not
comes
here.
Cue ball.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients, provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
I don't think I should be very accusatory or anything because he'll probably like grab me,
Yeah.
even though I'm not myself.
And mutate you.
What do you think? 1 or 2?
Oh. The symptoms what?
These are alarming symptoms. If we don't act, he'll die.
Do you believe that? I'm not as convinced, you see. I even think this man has a strong chance of completely healing from his ailments.
No, Doctor. This patient isn't himself anymore. He's dying.
Really? What do you mean by isn't himself?
He's changing. His physical characteristics, they are more animal than human now.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my
fuck.
point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
That's a threat if I ever heard one.
Yeah. For real,
Can we
real.
just
Was
grab a
that a
knife
threat?
and cut that dude open?
What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Ooh.
True, the hidden files are proof.
Oh,
I feel
that
like we're-
evidence exists. I'm
I feel
sure
like
of
we're
it.
sending her to her
I need to
death.
find the missing
Yeah,
medical
whatever.
files.
That's
And
rude.
where would you find those?
Oh, she's
in
a
his
nameless
office?
nurse.
What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep Mum.
Oh, God.
An unknown medicine. Judging by the other ones, it causes heavy side effects.
Oh, you can see outside.
Hmm.
There's not a lot to look at.
No, not really.
Can I look at him again? No. I didn't want to be back in here, to be honest. Pharmacy.
Chronic insomnia. Like half the island.
Generic guy. Ooh, does she have paranoia? We can't even go in.
It seems that, yeah. She doesn't have little hidey holes.
Who's that? Can I...
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
Probably in there.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
Are you stuck on something?
No, I was listening.
Elizabeth? You all right? Why
She
is
might
this
have
room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself.
It's all these freckles.
And the water was once again shut off this morning. I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak. Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled the problem.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
So, that's how we, get into that locked area. What? Oh, they're bathing stations.
Oh, yeah, that's what they are.
Sponge bath.
Yeah, really intense sponge bath.
For the nicer patients, they get a nice
Yes,
little...
yeah, they get stuffed in there, and then a little wooden thing gets put on top of them.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, seems a little.
Yeah. So you were saying this place is pretty big and expansive, right?
It's a pretty large size. It's a good sized building, but I mean, you're gonna get to points where you're gonna find like what you need to do. There's a definitely. This is like the end of this room, though.
Is there nothing in here?
No, this is just the end of this room.
Oh, but there's a vent. Maybe later.
You think I should close out of Amazon? I'm sitting here between paychecks and wanting to buy things, and I kind of got the money, but then I kind of don't. It's like the next things I want to get people for Christmas.
What you gonna get me for Christmas, bro?
I have a thing for you for Christmas. I think I know what I want to get Alex for Christmas. I know what I'm getting Ted for Christmas.
I don't know what I'm getting any of you guys for Christmas.
I don't know what we're gonna get. I was actually gonna pump you for information about what to get, like Hallie, but since you're like, I have no idea what I'm
I
getting,
have
her," I'm
little
like, well,
time
you're
for you,
a fucking,
Doctor.
you know,
You'll find out that
font
it's
of
not only the
information.
doctors who have things to do.
I think I was.
Wait a
smoking
minute. Where do you think you're going?
This bitch.
Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
I will tell him, nonetheless.
That's probably a bad thing.
So distract Donovan, cut off the water are our options.
For now, until I find more.
Yeah.
Which, you know. I like the music in this.
Yeah, it's kind of. Well,
Okay.
it's a ghost. I mean, it is kind of like a little like tensiony, a little spooky, but it's not like crazy.
Boiler room. Thomas Fuller, medical doctor. Can't talk to Jebediah. It looks like he'd be called Jebediah.
The operating room is never accessible after an operation.
But someone's accessing it.
I think that's the woman that's cleaning it.
Is this my office? Probably.
No, this is like
This
the front
man,
desk.
Edward Pierce,
That's us.
his file is incomplete. What did Fuller do to him?
Oh, it's rotating very nicely.
Dr. Colden, we need you at once in Dormitory B.
What is the problem?
Yeah, what's going
Mr.
on in
Evans
Dormitory
seems
B?
to be having trouble with his IV.
I'll see to it right away.
And the family of Mrs. Harding is asking to see her medical file.
I'll never understand why it's so hard to see patients' files around here.
Rules are rules. See, with Dr. Fuller, he's in charge. Anyhow, they're still waiting, and I don't think they'll leave until they get what they want.
Understood. Anything else?
As a matter of fact, yes. A man has been brought up from the basement.
Oh. What state is he in now?
You should go see for yourself, Doctor.
That drawl. Alright, so.
No.
The boiler room key is not in its place. Dr. Fuller always keeps his key with him.
Perception.
That book freaked out a little bit.
Oh, look, it's the cop.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Colden.
I think you can actually talk to him.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, why not? Whoop. I'll probably avoid talking to the family guys, maybe?
Ethan,
Marie,
what are you doing here?
I'm waiting for my medication, of course. Why?
You're a bad liar? I'm gonna say you're a bad liar.
You're not here for treatment, right?
Am I so obvious?
Yeah.
Only to me. I know you worry about me.
I trust you. I'm happy to see you.
Me too, Ethan. Is that all?
Well, there might be something else. I'm not sure.
I love a man
Tell
in
me.
a uniform with a
I
low
have
poly
nightmares.
count badge on his
They
chest.
keep me awake every night. It seems stupid, I know, but they're terrible.
Actually, you're not the only one.
No. No one has ever seen the things I see. It's like I'm turning mad.
Not sure. I think he.
I don't know.
I'm
Maybe
going
just
with
you're just go for it.
Yeah.
So many people have this affliction.
comforting.
It's like an epidemic.
Do you think it might be related to Fuller's work?
I don't know yet, but I will figure all this out. Everyone in Darkwater is suffering from nightmares.
Really?
We don't have any medication left.
Oh. There's no excuse then.
He looks
I
so,
should let you work.
Happy.
Take care, Ethan.
You
Such a
too,
lot of,
Marie.
Forget it. I'll talk to the family. Who cares?
I don't get why they have us waiting so long. Almost no patients here.
Where did my fiancée go? I hope those nutcases will stop burdening her with work.
She gone forever now. Can you get in the storage room?
Sorry, but nobody can take anything until I finish the inventory.
Oh, it does not let
Please.
you.
The
Oh.
fewer interruptions there
Doesn't let you
are, the
talk to it all
faster I'll
either.
be finished.
I'm sure once we do some stuff and come back,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
that's just a plot device thing,
Yeah,
probably.
she hasn't. I don't think.
Do you
she
want something?
Yeah, talk to me.
I guess not, because you can't really talk to her.
So I have.
I've seen a chunk of this section too. Oh, if I yawn a bit.
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We
Good
haven't been able
hands.
to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination.
All right.
He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling.
He's got the rabies.
Yeah, he actually might have rabies. Oh, there's another one on his hand.
There we go.
His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
Bullet to the head.
It could be the patient's been mistreated or keep taking care of the patient.
Let's go. Let's kind of be like on the warpath in here.
All right.
Those
Yeah,
basement brutes tied him up too tight, and now he's hurt.
Oh, that's fine.
I keep trying to heal his wounds, but he reopens them.
Do you have a diploma as a nurse?
Excuse me?
So take care of this man.
I think either way we would have had a similar.
Snap. Just dropping some mad shade on her 1920s ass.
Yeah. Also, those are some really well-placed grips. You could drag a guy anywhere with those.
Yeah, basically. Pick him up like a piece of luggage.
I mean, that's kind of the point. I know, but...
Yeah. This robe just wigging out. Just Z-fighting with everything else.
Yeah. He's powering up. It's a slow process because he's, he's like Master Roshi. It took him, what, 600 years? Is that how old he is?
I have no idea. I didn't watch a whole bunch of... Ooh, key to the boiler room.
The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait.
Yeah, that stingy bitch.
Oh, we get that nice upskirt.
Except he's wearing pants.
She recently came back from the surgical block. She's stable. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable. But Fuller was able to save her kidney.
Looks like she's like vomited on herself.
Yeah, able to save her kidney. That seems like it was an almost impossible thing. It's almost like it's what's her face.
Why did nobody tell me about her admission?
The file describes the state in which Irene Sanders entered the Riverside Institute as well as the treatments administered. Fuller added a handwritten note. He recommends to take her down to the psychiatric wing in order to provide her with the quiet and rest she needs.
So Irene's in here now?
And this was just recent.
Yeah, we were just...
Mrs. Sanders?
She looks like a real doll.
She does look like a real doll.
He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Fuck, that sucks.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
What happened
What
there?
did you see there?
Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
Rotten meat,
And
probably.
that's how you broke your back.
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out. I'll just sleep a bit more.
I just told you stuff. I'm just gonna sleep now.
Doctor, please. My chest. Oh.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's
his neck's
undergoing a
all-
ventricular fibrillation. Nurse? Deborah, come and help me,
Does he
please.
look like he had a ton of
His
calluses on
potassium
his
level
feet
is
and
too
stuff?
high.
Yeah.
Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to
Baking
it right
soda.
away.
It's sodium bicarbonate,
Thank you.
I believe.
He's in your hands.
Fun fact. Look at me helping the common man.
So I think now that we've it's a super weird fire.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
It is a really weird.
Looks like a
looking fire
gas
at a
fire,
distance.
actually.
Yeah. So I think now that we've finished our rounds and stuff, it's time for us to take a bit of a break now. We've made our medical rounds. We've checked on all of our patients. I think it's time to hit the break room, have a little lunch, take a nap, and then we can come back and we can check again, see how everyone's going with their bicarbonate and their glucose and whatever the shit we gave that guy. We just said a bunch of words.
Medical words.
Yeah.
Anyway, next time, join us as we break into the boiler room.